Mark Spector had a discriminative childhood to say the least, being born the son of a Holocaust survivor and all. Throughout his life he served with the Marines and CIA, but eventually became a mercenary. Then, one fateful day, he was left to die by his former crooked partner Bushman. Yet, Mark lived. This wasn't no ordinary temple. This was a shrine of Khonshu, the god of vengeance, who offered Mark a second chance at life, becoming a light in the darkness, fist of Khonshu's vengeance, protector of the lost, the luminous legionnaire, known only as Moon Knight. Welcome to the 29th episode of Drunk Powerscaling, the show where I hungoverly powerscale my favourite characters.
That was pathetic.
As the Fist of Vengeance, Mark prowled the streets of New York, seeking, vengeance against those who have hurt the innocent. As I'm sure you know, Moon Knight is three minds in one body, all working together to fight crime. Mark is more level-headed, Steven is narcissistic, despite what the show might tell you, and Jake is more likely to resort to violence. This new crime-fighting life wasn't difficult to adapt to, as Mark has experience fighting in foreign revolutions and wars. Given his background, he was trained to withstand any type of torture or brainwashing. He's also pretty good at predictions, capable of sensing a person via shifts in the air and able to catch projectiles mid-fight without looking. And because the Batman similarities weren't clear enough, he's mastered all forms of martial arts and every weapon ever invented. He's also a decent detective, as he once deduced a soldier had epilepsy based on clues, and then proceeded to give him a fucking seizure. Yay, go Mark. Now for the fun stuff. Let's list all the random bullshit he has within his arsenal. Go. There's his cloak, which can be used to glide. There's his signature crescent darts, basically crescent-shaped batarangs, that come in a variety of variants, such as razor crescent darts, which are basically your standard projectile, gas crescent darts to release sleeping gas, parachute darts to slow his descent, rope crescent darts to turn him into Spider-Man, explosive darts that, you can probably guess, and adamantium darts, which are strong enough to pierce through foes like the Grey Hulk. He even has a gun that shoots darts that comes with a grappling hook and restrainer. Moving on to his primary melee option, the Truncheon. I don't know. As useless as it is in Rivals, it is pretty effective in the comics, being able to turn it into nunchucks and a grappling hook. He'd upgrade this to an adamantium one that can be magnetically called back to him and extend into a bow staff. It can also release shocks, blind foes, disable tech with its anti-metal pulse, and emit an Antarctic vibranium frequency that can destabilize any metal at the subatomic level. He even has separate grappling hooks outside of his gun and truncheon, as well as an axe, tear gas, knockout spray, iron boomerangs, scarab darts, a bow and arrow, guns, mini explosive darts, smoke bombs, a fucking chainsaw, cestus, bolas, swords, whip swords, plasma torches, stakes, tranquilizer darts, liquid nitrogen, binoculars that can see through walls, silver capsules that can make the temperature so cold it stops people from drawing in breath. He has claws like Wolverine, throwing irons, energy shields, web shooters, drones that can scan for threats and ensnare foes, space cameras, power dampeners, hypersonic stun devices, and lastly, there's the Onks. Now, unlike in Rivals, these aren't tools to carry players. I say that as a Moon Knight main, by the way. He's my first character I've hit Lord with. Anyways, instead they glow to detect nearby dangers to Mark. Furthermore, they can absorb magic from the likes of Doctor Strange and even Iron Fist Chi, his life force. Now, besides that, he has numerous vehicles, like the Mooncycle, Moonmobile that can be controlled remotely, Limousine, a hoverbike that can fire rockets. Then there's the Mooncopter, equipped with a grappling hook, net, twin 20mm rounds, and it's noiseless somehow. Lastly, there's the Angel Wing, equipped with machine guns, crescent darts, and missiles, and it does this without Mark being on it. It can even disarm vehicles. Okay, so we're done now, right? Nope. Mark has a few supernatural abilities to cover. For one, he gains a power boost the further into the cycle the moon is, so a full moon buffs him the most. He can teleport, go intangible, open portals by praying, he summoned an army of mummies and werewolves. As for any resistances worth noting, he's insulated so electricity can't harm him much, the same with fire. He resisted a virus that affected the minds of many heroes, although his body was still damaged. And thanks to his 3 minds, plus Khonshu, he can resist mind control by switching up who's in charge. That's actually really creative. Now, before moving on, we need to talk about Khonshu himself, who resides in cosmic no-time and exists across all ages. He's an abstract being who represents the concept of moons throughout the multiverse. He provides Mark with extra knowledge, can sense changes in reality, sense threats from the future, he can fend off anyone who tries to invade Mark's mind, possess overneared by dead bodies, mess with heads, and can take control of Mark if he's nearly knocked out. Khonshu can even become an invisible and intangible spirit, capable of manipulating the elements and the moon itself. Plus, he can instantly resurrect Mark upon death and teleport him. That was a lot. So let's move on to power.
I tear through the cloudless night, just like the moon.
He's such a threat to common criminals that they'd rather off themselves than fight him, because he can casually lift tables, break his own vehicle's windshield, hit guys through cars so hard that they need to drink all food through a straw the rest of their life. With the Crescent Dark gun, he restrained the Slag. Oh god, okay. I'm not even going to cut that. He restrained the Slug, who weighs over 1,000 pounds. He's knocked out White Dragon, bent steel, ripped off steel doors, tore through metal, went toe-to-toe with the Punisher, lifted a whole tree off the ground, locked his joints to lift a massive piece of debris, and impressively, he's beat the snot out of not just most of Marvel Street Tiers, but Deadpool, which is impressive since Wade survived this massive explosion before. Being able to deal significant damage to someone like that would place Mark's AP at town level, and that seems pretty consistent across Marvel Street Tiers. Pretty good. Let's move on to speed.
I bring Khonshu's vengeance.
He's dodged an incoming train. He's a regular bullet timer, which extends to rockets. He can dodge a barrage of Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs. He can move within the span of a heartbeat, react within an eye blink, run at the speed of thought, and he's dodged multiple lasers, as well as deflected a laser with a mirror, as well as dodged an actual light blast from the same dude. Plus, a good chunk of Marvel Street Tiers can dodge Cyclops' light speed blasts. He's also reacted to Daredevil, and would naturally scale otherwise, which is important since he can perceive and react to events within a nanosecond, meaning we can place Mark at fast and light. Finally, let's talk durability.
The moon haunts you. Well done, my son.
Mark described himself as too borderline psychotic to feel pain, which is mostly true as he shrugged off being stabbed. He's endured being locked in a room for 2 weeks without food, until he killed a rabid dolphin he was trapped with, comics, dive bombed from space, his suit is bulletproof and car-proof. He survived a bomb and being in the epicenter of a boat explosion. I'd also say Mark can scale to the previously mentioned Deadpool town level feat, since Wade's regeneration would only kick in after he tanked the initial explosion. So again, town level. This is consistent with other Street Tiers. What an interesting character. As you can probably tell by some black boxes, there are plenty of different avenues for scaling to the likes of the Vibranium Super Soldiers or the Webhead Gang, but I wouldn't feel too comfortable personally. Let me know what you think though. And as I said earlier, using Khonshu in general is questionable. It really depends on the scaler. That being said, Death Battle, please do Moon Knight vs. Azrael, that would kick so much ass. With that being said, stay safe, and as always, be excellent to each other.
Who this? Who that? Who cares? The moon is watching us and nobody is talking about that. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, but I'm not because I ran out of crazy pills. I need more. When am I getting paid?